Hello guys, and 7 blessings to you. I'm back here to present you a new character in the Night Watch, and this time it's an archer. Once again, as we do speak of the Night Watch, everything should be black. I have boots there. Boots here are lighter and shorter than the one I present before for the infantry. These boots are a simple way to close them with just, see, a wire, a lot of leather on the side. It's completed by a pair of hosen here on my leg, made out of wool and with a lining inside. Over there is like a padded skirt for my hip and upper part on my thigh. A bit there also for the groin. You have there a gambeson, which is once again black with, you see all the little aglets. This shape is really inspired by the late Middle Ages, with a big opening in order to move correctly your arms, which will be important if you want to shoot at something. You have to be able to catch your arrow and shoot easily. It will be important for many things. I complete this with there another padding over the neck there, covering the neck bones, keeping also you a bit warm because it's higher color. And I complete all this with a cloak there. This cloak is very simple, it's just a simple layer of wool, which make it lighter than other cloaks I own. But it's also easier just to turn around here and remove from the front, and it will stay on your back like this a bit easier. But I would recommend always to have something to clip them, just in case. Something like a simple fibula will do. And for the head, you can cover your head with the hood you have there on the cloak. I have beneath it there on my head directly a square of fabric, a square of silk, in order to hold my hair correctly, because I don't want any of my hair coming out my face when I'm trying to shoot at something. Well, just because it's obviously better. Kind of little accessories will come in handy in time like this. Of course, as you are on the wall, a good scarf will be handy as well. Just like the ones I presented before, it goes the same, you know, it's really simple. The scarf is just a piece of fabric you wrap around your neck and it's done. Could be a piece of fabric like that, or it could be knit. It depends. It depends. Both could be a good option, even if I do prefer fabric directly like that instead of a knit version of a black scarf. I prefer a piece of fabric in order to just block much more efficiently the wind when it comes at you, and when it's very windy, very cold, a good piece of fabric could do the trick. And a pair of gloves, of course, will help to protect your hand when you're shooting. And also, of course, it's the same problem when you are on the wall. You want to have something to just cover you and protect you from the cold. So gloves, of course, are something that you would think about, because we lose a lot of body heat through the exterior parts of our body. The farthest it is from the core, this year it will be to lose your head, your body heat from there. So it's important to cover the head, cover the feet, and cover also your hand if you want to avoid to lose your body temperature to the cold. Concerning the weaponry, I have there a short sword, you see, simple in its design but still efficient, with a leather scabbard. Once again, the shape is simple but efficient, simple guard, and the pommel there is one of the design they also took, I do believe it was for some of the northerner and perhaps even a rope stock of a pommel in this shape, but made out of brass, if I do recall correctly. Well, this is a shape they choose, and this is also a shape I do love for the way it just could stuck beneath there, beneath your hand, and help to move around easily your sword, whatever you want to do with it. It's really helpful, and well, I love the shape both for the design, the look, and I love also the shape because of the dynamic it gives to the sword. And well, other designs are possible, of course, but this is one of my favorite design here for a sword which is that short. For long sword it will be something different. For the bow and the arrow and even the quiver there, I know everything in black, I know, and this is just because I picked everything here in my stock, in the different things I own, and manage some kind of a new garment in order to show other ideas. And well, the shape would be what we have to remember there. So everything should be black if you are in the Night's Watch. Once again, here, so you have a bow which could be just like that, a recurve bow, composite bow. I don't see what problem could find there. This is also, if I do remember right, a design they use a lot in Game of Thrones, and especially I do believe also in the North. So why not? Why not? But even longbows could be fine. I do believe both could be fine, of course. Both have advantages and disadvantages. Perhaps, yes, on the wall, a longbow would be better, and perhaps when you are a ranger, perhaps a short bow like this would be better. And well, for the arrows, you know, simple. The feather should be black as well. You have there simple arrowhead. For the quiver and the arrow, I prefer them there on my hip, on the belt there that I do add, and that way you can just remove your arrow without any problem with the cloak coming in the way. So it's a simple way to carry both your arrow and both also your bow, because you can also put the bow if you have a bag like this in order to hold bow. You can put it there. Well, this bag is too short for this bow, it was for another one, and you can carry your bow there on the hip with just taking the arrow from there. It's perhaps the best choice when you have a cloak and a lot of things like I have on the shoulder there, instead of having it on the back. But I don't see a problem in using a quiver from the back. Both on the hip and the back, both are good for me. It just depends on the context once again, and how it works best for you. Well, your gear once again should always work with you, not against you. For some of the details, here you can check in a better way the guard, the pommel for the sword, as well as the arrowhead, and of course a fibula. A simple fibula like this will be very helpful when you want to hold your cloak on one shoulder or another. Some little details concerning the cloak as well. Here you see, I just have a piece of fabric in order to knot here the clock around the neck. This is why also I use a padded neck piece there in order to avoid any trouble with the clock. And I would really prefer to have something else in order to close it right there on my neck, like even I prefer straps. Most of the time straps as they used in Game of Thrones. You see there is tons of cloaks in Game of Thrones, especially in the north and the wall and so on. And in order to avoid the actors to be bothered and to strangle themselves with the cloak, I believe this is why they use the strap, which sewn directly on the cloak and come across the chest. And the same was true as well for the 300 years before. They did the same design in order to have a good balance with the cloak and the movement without strangling and stopping the actors from being able to speak out loud and be free in their movement while running, acting and everything. So this is why I would have preferred something better than just a knot there, to be honest, and it could be better. Really, it's good, but not enough. And this is why also I use the fibulae like this, fibulae in order to close on my shoulder the cloaks. I've learned to enjoy the effect of a good fibula. Just use it on one side there. Go through the fabric there. Okay, up there, and it easily hold. You see your clock on the side there without being too much of a problem. So this is why I also like the fibulae on the cloaks, because once it's there, it's stuck, and you won't have the problem of your cloak coming like right at the front like this here. So these kind of little accessories help give also a better look to your garb, because when you have fibulae like this on the shoulder, it's a little details which is really enjoyable to the eye, and that is what I think should come in mind when you are working on your garb. Something that could be catchy to the eye, very interesting to give depth to the garb, and also that help to make the garb a living thing, something you can move around with and have a purpose. This have a true purpose. It's something that help to hold the clock, so you can move better. You can have it stuck on one side, and you can do whatever you want because you won't be bothered by the clock. And also it has a purpose also to bring something else to the garb, some details that are well received by yourself and everyone around. When we speak about Game of Thrones, one of the things that came in mind is also the fur they could have on the shoulder. So on my shoulders I could have had this spelt here. Didn't knew exactly all the time, so I didn't bother actually. So I think with a good set of fibulae it will be simple to add to any cloak you'll see. This is what I did for the Ranger. I just pinned the fur on the clock, which helped to keep it where it belongs. I hope you enjoy my new take on the nice watch, and that design, my ideas will bring you also inspiration and some of the ideas for your own work. So after this one, I have just to present you my Ranger, which is a bit more full and complicated. There will be much more stuff to present. So I thank you for the time you spent, and I wish you a good day. See you.